All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to tackle a really popular spiritual idea, but we're going to look at it through the lens of, well, universal science. Specifically, the idea that all you really need is an interconnection, and we're going to see how the laws of physics might just offer a powerful counterargument.
You've probably heard this one, right? The kingdom of God is within you. It's a really powerful idea, and a lot of people see this as the ultimate reason to focus purely on their own inner spirituality, separate from any kind of organized religion. The thinking is, hey, if the kingdom is inside me, why would I ever need anything on the outside?
And look, that is a profound truth. But what if it's not the whole equation? What if that's just the beginning of the story, not the end? What if that inner kingdom is really just the starting point for something way, way more powerful? So yeah, let's dive into the physics of it.
Okay, first things first, let's really look at what this teaching was about in its original context. The source material suggests it wasn't a get-out-of-church-free card. No, it was a powerful statement against something else entirely: hypocrisy.
So when you look at it this way, the idea of the kingdom within was a direct shot at people who were just going through the motions. It was about being anti-hypocrisy, anti-performance. It was a message that you can't just rely on your status to get you by. Your faith has to start with a genuinely changed heart. But here's the key. It was not anti-church, it was not anti-covenant, and it was definitely not anti-community. Here's a great way to think about it. That inner kingdom, your personal faith, that's the ignition. It is absolutely essential. You can't start without it. But think about it. An ignition in a car doesn't do anything by itself. It's just a spark. It needs a whole connected circuit to get that energy to the engine so the car can actually go somewhere. Okay, so to really get this, let's step away from theology for a minute and jump right into the world of physics. Because it turns out the universe has some pretty clear, consistent rules about how to generate real power.
Let's start with something called a resonant cavity. It sounds complicated, but the idea is simple. It's just a space where waves, like sound or light, get trapped and amplified because they keep interacting with each other. Think about the body of a guitar or a violin. The strings make the sound, but the hollow body is what makes it loud and rich. That body is a resonant cavity.
Take a laser, for example. A single particle of light, a photon, is incredibly weak. You can't even see it. But when you shoot billions of them into a specially designed system, a resonant cavity, they bounce back and forth, they get in sync, they build on each other, and suddenly you have an immensely powerful focused laser beam. It's not the particles themselves that changed. It's the structured system that made them powerful. Okay, let's switch gears to something we all use every single day: electricity. We just plug things in, but there's a fundamental rule at play here that we almost never think about. I mean, think about it. Voltage, or potential energy, does literally nothing in isolation. A brand new battery sitting on your desk has all this potential, right? But it can't do a thing. It's only when you put it into a device, when you complete the circuit, that its potential becomes actual power, the kind that lights up your screen or makes your remote work. So you see where this is going, right? If our souls have energy, and many believe they do, then why wouldn't these same universal laws of physics apply? The argument is they absolutely do. And this really lays out the whole model perfectly. Number one, you have your inner faith. That's the ignition. But then you need number two, the covenant community. That's your circuit, the people, the promises, the structure. And when you have both, that's when you get number three, amplified resonance. That's the real power. You go from a tiny, isolated spark to something that can light up a room. So these things, church fellowship, temple covenants, even family bonds and praying together, these are our spiritual resonant chambers. They're the systems designed to take our individual faith and, just like that laser, amplify it. When people come together with a single purpose, their individual spiritual waves start to sync up, creating a resonance, a power that is way, way bigger than anything they could create on their own. Okay, so if connection is the key to creating power, what's the flip side? What happens with isolation? Well, physics has a very clear, very stark answer for this, and it's one of the most fundamental laws of the entire universe. And that law is called entropy. This isn't just some idea, it's a rule. It says that any isolated system left to itself will naturally move from a state of order toward disorder. It just breaks down. The classic example is a hot cup of coffee. You leave it on the counter and it never gets hotter, right? It always cools down. It loses its order and just becomes the same temperature as the room. That's entropy. And this law holds true even at the quantum level. A tiny particle in a specific, orderly state is super fragile. isolate it and it breaks down almost instantly. So the argument here is that our faith works the same way. In the world we live in today, with so much spiritual noise and dissonance pulling us in every direction, an isolated faith is incredibly vulnerable to that same natural downward pull of entropy.
So the pattern is just unavoidable, whether you're talking physics or faith. You can see it here. When connection to an outside energy source is low, the internal order goes down and entropy, disorder, just takes over. Without a circuit to plug into, the battery just dies.
So how do we fight this spiritual entropy? Well, how does any system fight entropy? By actively adding energy to it. And in a spiritual sense, this is the physics of service. This is so cool. Service is literally the physical act of transferring your energy to support someone else. It's like being the person who keeps pushing a swing to fight against friction. It's like being the external power source that pumps a laser to create that coherent beam. When you serve, you are actively fighting entropy in someone else's life. And by doing that, you strengthen the entire connected system, including yourself.
And this brings us right to the heart of it all with this quote. He is found while in the service to others. Truth be told, Christ is found in unity with others, as unity produces resonance. So the most powerful connection isn't found when you're all alone. It's found in that resonant unity, in that flow of energy between people who are serving and gathering together.
So this really is the fundamental principle we see across all of physics. Systems stay orderly and strong when energy flows outward through connection. It's when that energy gets isolated, when it stops flowing, that entropy always wins.
And that brings us to the big question. The physics of faith asks every single one of us, is your spiritual energy flowing or is it fading? Is that inner ignition you have connected to a real, living circuit that lets your power flow outward? Or is it sitting there in isolation, slowly losing its charge to the natural pull of spiritual decay? Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer. If this connection between physics and faith fascinates you, and you want to go even deeper, be sure to check out the companion audio. You'll find a link for it in the comments below.